experience in Shasta, contact experience in 2012. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I have barely talked about this, but what I can share with you is that in 2012, many people were talking about the shifting of the planet and catastrophic events and stuff like that. And we didn't expect that. We didn't know for sure what was going to happen, but definitely we went to the invitations in Mount Shasta. And I was there in September, 21st, 22nd. And in those days, I have this experience one morning when I was hiking very early in the morning, around 9. I went into the forest and I have this feeling that something was going to happen. The feeling is like when you are in love and you feel these butterflies, or that feeling in your chest is the same thing. So as I was walking up the hill in Shasta, I felt that energy and it was very powerful. So I remember that I sense like the invitation to understand something. It's like, it's difficult to explain, but it was like, just turn your face to the sunlight, because the sun was on the side, on my right side. And then I felt the instruction, just turn your face. So I give my back to the sun, and immediately I saw my shadow covering the grass and the flowers that were in the floor. And then I understood that we can only see good in the light, because whenever we give our back to the light, immediately we project this shadow, this darkness, and I couldn't see the things the way they are. Now the flowers were gray, the grass was gray also because of my shadow. So I felt that there was a deep meaning in that. And I realized that whenever I give my back to the light of consciousness, I don't see the people the way they are, but the way I project on them. And then I sensed that was my lesson for today. So I tried to go back to the camping ground, but then I felt like I was supposed to go up a little bit more. So I started walking maybe for 5 to 7 more minutes up there. When I reached this kind of like a plateau up there and surrounded by trees, but pine trees, this opening, and in between two of those pines, you could see how the branches were forming kind of like an arch. And in between the arch, the mountain, Shasta Mountain. The whole picture looked like, I don't know, it was beautiful. And I sensed that I was supposed to go through that arch. So I walked through the thing, and immediately when I passed through the trees, I sensed the quality of the light changes. It was like if the light was brighter somehow. And I entered, and there was a trunk tree, carrot, that I used like a chair. I sat there, and I decided that I was going to meditate there for a few. I thought the group was receiving automatic writing the days before, and in those writings, there was a clear invitation to go to the place where the trees form the arch. But we were looking for that thing and we never found it. And now by accident, I found the place. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna go for the group later and bring them there. Probably we're gonna have an experience together. It was 9 a.m. So I was expecting just to sense the location, close my eyes. I was breathing. Then suddenly I felt like movement. I opened my eyes and I noticed at the distance up there in a small hill and between the trees, I could see some people moving behind the trees. And I thought they were not hikers, but those bikers that use the clothing very close to the skin. And they were blonde, they were wearing these clothes that were white, and I guess I wanted to imagine that they were common people because it was in the middle of the day. It was a very the usual forest, only the light was different, but then these people behind. Then one of the group walked out of the group, out of the trees, towards the upper part of the hill, and he looked at like saying hello. And then I sensed his name, Sempiak. He was presenting himself, and my first impulse was running. I have to run and go for the group. But then I felt if I do this, I'm gonna lose the whole experience. So I have to stay here. And then I was really afraid because I was expecting the whole group was gonna have the experience, and now it was happening to me. And I remained there sitting from behind this guy, Sempiak, and from the group in the back, a woman started walking out of the group and going down the hill. And she moved like a military person, very straight, but you could clearly see the female form of her body. Then she turned and looked towards me and started walking towards me. And then at a short distance, I realized that even though I was listening to the twigs breaking, when I noticed her feet were not actually touching the ground. And I freaked out because I was listening to something, then she was kind of like floating, and the whole thing became like a moment for, I don't know, I was really afraid. So at that point, I closed my eyes and just let the information came because I was really afraid. And then we have the exchange in that way. She was in front of me, like holding me emotionally, helping me through the whole experience, as Sempiak, the male, was giving me the information I needed to receive. I don't know if it's...
Wow, that's an amazing story. I've heard you tell it before. A couple last quick questions. When you sent me a video from the 2017, your group talking about the experiences they had, you have some videos there. Did you shoot those videos on the Saturday night?
No, those videos were from my friend Roy, Rodrigo Parra. Roy has this camera, it's called...
Ranger?
It's a monocular Ranger, yeah. And it has the capacity to film during the night. So yeah, he is the one that always brings the equipment and the stuff. I never filmed, never took pictures or videos. And he's fascinated by technology, so he always brings his stuff.
I realize you didn't take it, but was the film filmed on Saturday night? Do you know when were those program sightings or the events that he filmed?
I think a few of those were taken on Saturday night, but mostly on Sunday night when we have our Skywatch, because we received that we were supposed to do the Skywatch on Sunday night. So the whole group reunite there, and then we have all the sightings that you saw on those videos. Okay,
excellent. And the other, you mentioned there was two other Rahma groups. Do you know who they were, and do you know if anything happened when they were there on the mountain that weekend?
Yeah, I knew at the time there was going to be a group from Tijuana, from Mexico, and there was going to be another group doing some kind of, that was not Rahma, the other group was doing some kind of meditation with medicinal plants and stuff like that. Okay. They approached to say hello, but we work in different locations. But we agree that because we were going towards the same goal, on Sunday morning, we were going to meet in the center of the Sun Flat to do a work for the planet together. So that's what we did. We knew also that the group of Ricardo was going to be there, but his wife told me in advance that they were not going to exchange with the rest, so I didn't expect them to arrive.
Okay. Do you know if these other groups had events that happened with them, or did they have any sort of experiences or
Do you mean if I know if the other groups have experiences with the aliens?
Yeah, or on that weekend, doesn't whatever type of experiences where they, because we had experiences, you had experiences. I was just wondering whether they did, because I know there was actually, I don't know if you know this, the Michael Sala was there that weekend as well, down at the bottom of the mountain, and he had an experience. So I was just wondering whether these other people had experiences as well.
No, I actually didn't know. When we met on Sunday morning with the other groups, they mentioned they have sightings.
Okay.
But that was it.